How's it going, everyone? CJ from On The Grow here, and today I wanted to do a quick update video on our flood and drain system because I realized that I missed something very critical for the build aspect of this and making this functional. So after I built this, we started running it, and I noticed that a few plants were kind of dying on the top particularly, and I couldn't figure out why, and like a dork, I just never watched it flood all the way to make sure everything was working well. And what I realized is, although water was making it to the top, it didn't have enough pressure because of all the elbows that I had, which is something that I talked about in the last one, that it actually wasn't flooding as high as I would have liked it to. And something that I always did in the past on my flood and drain systems is I like to put shutoff valves on the lower trays so that I can reduce the amount of water pressure going into these and force it to go up higher. So I have added that back in, and I was just going to kind of show that off real quick. And so let's just take a peek at it. So it's kind of hard to see, so I'll let Mandy get back here and kind of show you. So again, this is where the first, let's just kind of talk about this. So this is where our water comes out from our pump, and this was where it teed off into, this is where we drain if we want to. This is an optional drain channel. This just remains shut off. And this was the shut off for making it be able to drain. What I added in here was, number one, a few pipe clamps, because I did have some leaks on this lower side, and I did have a leak right here with these zip ties as well. The zip ties work perfectly to kind of stop that. But what I added in was on right here to our first flood tray. I added, this used to be just a straight connection, and I added in the shutoff valve, which is turned to about maybe 15-20 degrees. And the reason I did that, again, is so that I could reduce the pressure going into that first tray, because it was wide open, and because it was putting most of its pressure and power into that first tray, it just wasn't flooding as well as I would have liked our second tray. So that's one thing I did, and I just want to talk about that. So I mean, I guess I can, we had some people saying, hey, I want to see it flood, so I'll go ahead and kick this timer on and show what this looks like. So you can kind of, if you take a peek back here, you can see this first flood tray flooding back here. And then also as well, if you look up here, this one's a little bit harder to see because we have a plant so close. But this one, the top is now flooding as well. So this does take a few minutes because it is a smaller pump. Usually I work with about 1,000 gallon per hour pumps. And since this is such a small system, we really only needed the 530 gallons, so it does take a little bit longer to flood. But once it's flooded, it stays sufficiently flooded for long enough during that 15-minute period that the timer kicks on and floods the tray to where everything is getting nice and watered now. So again, I made a mistake. I just kind of jumped in and assumed I did this right, and I don't know why I didn't add that part in, because I have done that for every single flood and drain system I've ever built. I always had some sort of shutoff valve to where I can reduce the pressure on the lower trays and allow the pressure to get up to the top tray sufficiently. So I just wanted to quickly kind of share this because I didn't want people out there being like, hey, for some reason mine's not working, and when it was really my mistake that I should have included that information into the first build. And somehow I did have actually the line reduced, but the video footage, I guess, just didn't make it into the first video, and I didn't catch that. So I do apologize that I kind of released that first video a little bit incomplete, but I really hope that this helps. And the unit is working great now. Everything's got a little bit of catch up to do now that I kind of let them starve a little bit. So I hope all this can come back. And also, I mean, we're at a point too where we're getting ready to replant this entire system. So we're going to be harvesting all these flowers for our farmers market coming up. And then once we've harvested all this, we're just going to kind of start fresh with this whole new system. And we'll be, actually Mandy will be sharing some videos about how she starts seeds for her edible flowers, and then how she grows them in the system. We'll talk about mixing the nutrients, maintaining the reservoir, cleaning this, and more videos like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give us a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. And if you're interested, our Instagram is @OnTheGrowFarms. Thank you so much, and have a great day.